Selecting vendors within your supply chain is a critical decision. First, you have to find potential vendors, say for raw materials, and then evaluate them. The evaluation criteria will be different for specific industries or companies, but in general, you are evaluating potential vendors to determine the likelihood of them becoming good suppliers. Once you evaluate potential vendors, the next step is to select and develop the relationship with the vendor. Clear policies and procedures are key here. The development may also include helping train the vendors to achieve certain quality standards, etc. During the vendor selection process, there may be different types of negotiations. One is a cost-based model. This is where the supplier or vendor opens their books to the purchaser. A second model that might be used is a market-based pricing model. The price paid for items would be based on published auction or index prices. You will see this type of model in many auto repair shops. There is a, quote, standard time for a particular repair, and the garage will charge you for that standard time at their particular hourly rate. And then there is competitive bidding, in which is often used for infrequent purchases. You can think of this as a request for quotes or a request for proposals approach. One major area within supply chain management that receives a lot of deserved attention is logistics management. The objective is to obtain efficient operations through the integration of all material acquisition, movement, and storage activities. Logistics is a frequent candidate for outsourcing. UPS, FedEx, DHL, and even the United States Postal Service are vendors that handle many companies' logistics. Outsourcing logistics to a third party can help reduce cost and even improve delivery reliability and speed. Some vendors may also provide warehousing, assembling, and testing, in addition to the usual offering of shipping and customs handling. It is important to be aware of the various distribution systems available for getting products to customers. While most of these you should already be familiar with, it is worth mentioning them again. First is trucking. Trucking moves the vast majority of manufactured goods within the U.S. This is partly in thanks to Eisenhower, who is credited with our interstate highway system. The big advantage of trucking is that it is quite flexible and can reach just about anywhere in the U.S. Railroads are another form of transportation that has a strong history in the U.S. Railroads are much less flexible than trucking, but can carry large, heavy loads efficiently across the country. Often a container is loaded on a rail car and sent across the country, where a truck then picks it up and drives it, quote, the final mile. We also have air freight. It is fast and relatively flexible, but can be quite expensive. Waterways are also an important transportation mode. If your end product is, quote, low value and was manufactured in China, then moving it by ship is a viable and often used option. And finally, we have pipelines. While most people think of this mode for oil and gas, just think of your house. It has pipes for the domestic water and waste, maybe for propane or natural gas, or maybe for the domestic baseboard heat. Because we have different alternatives for shipping our products, we often want to compare the alternatives in terms of cost. The product that is in transit is considered a form of inventory and has a, quote, carrying cost. We also know that faster shipping is generally more expensive than slower shipping. We then want to compare the carrying cost of an additional days in transit to the increased cost of getting the product to its destination faster. Let's look at an example that compares two different vendors for shipping. We have some electronic connectors that need to get from Palo Alto, California to Wilmington, North Carolina. The value of the connectors is $1,750. The holding or carrying cost is estimated at 40% of the value of the connectors per year. We have our normal carrier and a new potential carrier. The new carrier guarantees a one-day faster transit, but it's going to cost us $20 more than our normal vendor. Should we switch to the new vendor? In other words, is it worth $20 to get the connectors there a day faster? To help us evaluate the trade-off between the two vendors, we calculate the daily carrying or holding cost and compare it to the $20 to get the connectors there a day faster. The daily cost of holding the product is the annual holding cost, 40%, multiplied by the product value, $1,750, and then divide that product by the 365 days because the holding cost was in a year form. Doing so gives us a daily carrying cost of approximately $1.92. Since it costs less to hold the product in transit 1 day longer than it is for the faster shipping alternative, we should continue to use our normal vendor. So the $1.92 is less than 20, so we would still stay with the normal vendor. Now, what this example leaves out are any deadlines that might be missed and subsequent monetary penalties for missing those deadlines by taking one additional day to get the connectors to Wilmington.